may have to do this in another take. It's a little windy and I've got my earpiece. We'll see how well it works, but I needed to at least do something a little extemporaneous, free thought kind of thing on chapter 10 in Sean McDowell's book, Rebels Manifesto. It's on loneliness. In the short few pages, Sean does a good job, of course, and he's just touching on these subjects, and hopefully it's getting you to think about other things. But he ends the chapter talking about, just what we can do, because there's a loneliness epidemic, and it's obvious as you look around the world, and we won't scratch on that too much to look at all those different causes, whatever, and how it kind of plays out. But he does say, well, what we can do at the end of the chapter is, if you're hurting, share with an adult or trusted friend. Focus on building genuine relationships with friends and adults. And if you're not lonely, reach out to those who are. When I read that last statement, if you're not lonely, reach out to those who are. Of course, there's a lot can be said about all these chapters, but even more so about this specifically, because I want to press on that a little bit, and hopefully fill that out a little bit for you, and kind of nudge your thinking a little bit in this whole area of loneliness. I want to contend and I want to propose a statement that you may or may not agree with, but I'm going to put it out there anyway, because I think it's true. Everyone is lonely. Now, as I say that, I guess it can be qualified to say, well, what do you mean by that, Dan? What do you mean by that, Pappy? What are you trying to say? Everyone's lonely? I'm going to leave room for degrees of loneliness, because we're not all battling the effects of that loneliness and where it can take us. Which is, you look at this society that we're dealing with, and it's not unlike many other societies in the past. That loneliness can bring depression. It can bring, the anxiety. It can bring a lot of stuff in our lives that we can struggle with. But so I do understand that there's different degrees of loneliness out there. Walk around a little bit. It's such a nice day. We're over here at Kentucky Lake. This is a state park called Ken Lake that borders the lake, and just a beautiful area. So yeah, there's a marina over there. It's a windy day. There's a lot of things to do around here. There's a lodge over there. Some things. Lots of fishing. But I'm not lonely right now. There's actually somebody right over there kind of enjoying this day too. I say everyone is lonely because of this. If you are a God follower, if you believe the Bible and everything that it says in it, the stories and how we've come about, and just all the different things that are in what we call the scriptures, you'll know that God created us in kind of a relationship with Him, fellowship with Him, and then He created a helper for Adam, which He called Eve. And so there's this relational bond that was right from the beginning. Chapter 3 screwed all that up by the choices of the man and the woman, and brought separation. At that point on, you look at this thing called loneliness, and you see it as they are hiding. I would say that even in their hiding, it doesn't say it in chapter 3, but as hiding from God, after they have eaten the fruit. There's, they're hiding together for sure, but they're dealing with their own now, the pain and what this all has caused within their heads. And so, even being with someone else, loneliness can happen. That's why I say lonely, everybody is lonely. Even if you're with a bunch of people, nobody can get inside your head and all the different cracks and crevices of what's in there and understand everything about you. God did, God does, but we have never felt that relationship was broken now. And so, since that point on, there's things in our lives that nobody knows about except God. And that can bring a feeling of loneliness, of not being known, which can cause a lot of other things, a lot of other problems in our lives. I think it's C.S. Lewis has said we have a God-shaped hole in us. I think he said it in our hearts. And obviously, as you look around the world, people are trying to fill that with anything but God. And it's a God-shaped hole. It's only going to be filled by Him. Everything else is going to fall short. I think it's Augustine. It said something to the effect that we find our rest until we rest in Thee. It's talking about God. And I think that borders on this whole subject as well, because this loneliness has taken us to a lot of places in our head, in our lives, and how we live in this world. And we are restless people. That's why I say that all of us are lonely. Who among us hasn't tried to fill our lives and our hearts' desires with something besides God? We're doing it all the time. The addiction is and alcohol and all the abuses, drug abuse, and overeating, and just the over excess of things that money can buy, and the things that we play and do, and these things that captivate our hearts. They're all over the place. And so for restless people, we're trying to fill that void. And if we slow down too much, and it's different for different people, but if we slow down, sometimes we hear that echo and we feel the pain of it. And this creeps in, even if we're amongst people. That can happen. I'm not trying to be morbid here, or trying to be, a Debbie Downer. That's why I'm out here at Kentucky Lake. It's a beautiful day, and this is a beautiful location. Look around. Yeah, I'm standing here alone doing this, but I'm reminded of something that I want you to be aware of and cultivate in your lives. It doesn't have to be places like this. It can be a walk in the woods. It can be your favorite quiet room. Some people do a prayer closet. There's lots of ways people do things to get time with God or get out with God. And it could even be in a crowded, noisy Starbucks, coffee house, whatever. But I want to encourage you to battle against our this is only truly fought if we finding tools to Christ. Christ is the dream. His death and resurrection. That's in his life of righteousness. He has given you his life. So you got to cultivate that. Things like the latest right on the edge all the time. And the fact of the matter is God is not made us to find relationship apart from Him, or even apart from His discipline. As we may tackle it somewhat as we think about relationships with others. But the second point that Sean made in those 3 points that I made at the beginning is important. You've got to find friends that are going to cultivate this, that are going to kind of feed that fire in you. And so here's my encouragement to you at almost 11 minutes. I hope I can publish this because this is a good extemporaneous run at this as I give you some of my thoughts, just running them out of my mouth. As you know, Abby, just like us to talk. So there's your challenge. And in your loneliness, I'll end with this. Find people and those around you that are hurting. You know, the fact of the matter is, everyone's working on some kind of level. So you don't have to go very far. It's right next to you. He or she may be the person that's going to need you life at that moment. So think about that, and I'm going to make that all for your consideration. Chapter 10, Rebels Manifesto. Have a good day.